We have one opposition, one person in opposition. Anybody want to, what is it? Is this for, against, and what's the other?
Abstain.
You can abstain. Anybody want to abstain from the vote? All right. Motion carries. All right. Next item on the agenda is a concern about Campus West. I don't have all the details about Campus West. They're not as clear as we would need them to be, but for those who don't know, Campus West is going to be closing the contract. At this point, the contract ends in June. So at this point, Campus West is going to close in June. So a number of parents have come concerned about this being closed in June. I'm also being told that the Campus West closing affects grab yards as well. So it affects another school. So parents are concerned about that. So for those parents who are concerned, anybody want to make a motion on what you want us to do as it relates to it, as it relates to being a DPCC? Anybody want to make a motion about what you want us to do about Campus West? You want to invite superintendent or somebody to come explain to us what's going on as it relates to that? You want whatever?
Yeah, why not? The issue there is Buff State wanting land for construction, right?
Right.
Maybe, sure, I mean, if the superintendent will come, the president of Buff State, and explain to us. I happen to be talking to Phil Ramore today, and he was explaining this issue, and he's obviously has a stance on it. He feels that the location of the school there has been really beneficial to the kids. I don't know, is the representative for
Campus West representative here? Anybody here from Campus West? All right, so but I know they're meeting at the school. I know they're having meetings at the school.
So, you know, yeah, I don't know if us as a larger group, maybe it's just a matter of how would we feel if our school was going to be taken over or changed. So
yeah, but we definitely can take a position as a larger group about the concerns.
It's just a thought, you know.
Right. So what's the motion?
Well, to invite the people,
Invite
the players, yeah, the
right.
the school district, and I would say the college too, because the college is.
Okay. So the motion is that parents have a concern and we would like the school district to send a representative and the college to send a representative to the DPCC to speak to us about what is going to happen going forward as it relates to Campus West. There's a second to the motion.
18. I have a question.
School 18, second to the motion. On discussion, the floor is open for discussion.
With our graveyard, since there's going to be affected also, wouldn't it be wise to invite somebody from graveyard here also to see what?
Yeah, there is a parent here from Gravy Yards. The parents from Gravy Yards are here. And so there's going to be a meeting at Gravy Yards on December 13th to talk about how the issue is going to affect their school. All right. So we're talking now more about the more general issue. You know, I guess one of the specific concerns I have about it is that having Campus West on Buff State clearly is part of a solution to, you got kids going on a college campus. That's clearly part of a solution. That's clearly a good thing that's going on. There are enough things that are going on that are problems in the district that we don't need to be doing things that, you know, add to the problem. You know what I'm saying? We need to keep the solutions in place. You can't undo the solutions because you make the problem bigger. So at least hearing from them at least makes sense from our perspective. All right, so if there's no other discussion, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. So both of those letters will be drafted and sent. All right, the next issue that came up was the issue around suspensions. We've met with the superintendents, at least with Ms. Buckley about this. We raised this issue for the superintendent twice, 2 months in a row. I want to make sure that if there's anybody else who want to add to the discussion, the floor is open for that. The issue is suspension. Although there's clearly been a decrease in the amounts of suspensions, matter of fact, I think the suspensions have gone down by half. At least as I look at the statistics, if you look in your folder, you have the suspension statistics over the last year. It looks like the amount of suspensions for the month of November were about 1,049. Somebody got those statistics? It's about 1,049 for what it is for November. Is there any schools who have concerns specifically here around suspensions and what's going on with suspensions? Okay, so what's the concern?
Of the amount of suspension.
All right. Yeah, East is one of those schools where the numbers are really high. So what we want to do is we just want to make sure that the district's commitment to suspension stays there. We don't ever want to forget the name of Jawan Daniels. Anybody know who Jawan Daniels is? Yeah, we don't want to we want to remember that name. We want to make sure the district remembers that name. We don't want another one of our children to have to die in order for the district to understand the importance of addressing issues on how we make sure our children are safe. So that suspension issue continues to be an issue. The amounts of suspensions is a concern. The other issue that was brought to us as an executive committee is every school, there should be a new policy on suspension. What is the new policy on suspension? Parent facilitators, DPCC reps, what's the new policy on suspension?
They have a half-a-day person for...
That's right. So is everybody seeing the new policy on suspension in your school?
Yeah.
All right. The other new policy on suspension that we should be looking for is parent conference in lieu of suspension. So all those little frivolous reasons that students get suspended, they get suspended for the way they talk, or they get suspended for coming late to class, or they get suspended for being late for school. All those areas are not areas that should be suspendable anymore. Now, the parent should get a call, and you have the option of meeting with the principal to come up with another solution besides suspension before a child is suspended. That's called parent conference in lieu of suspension. Is everybody aware of that? Raise your hand if you are aware of it. Okay, that's the important thing. The important thing is also to make sure the other parents in the school are aware of it. Because if you as a parent facilitator understand what that policy is, when the parents come talking to you about it, you can begin to advise them of what their options are. They won't have to call us on the executive committee. They can really work with you, and you can begin to work with the principal, because some principals struggle with it. Some principals don't want to use it. So because the only way it's going to get enforced is what? How are we going to make sure it get enforced? Parents. If parents don't make sure that get enforced, that don't get enforced. It's hard to change behavior. If you used to suspend it, you suspend it. And if parents don't say there's another option according to the district policy, it won't change. So that's on us. Okay? Anybody else need discussion on suspension? All right. Next item on our agenda is the discussion around committee meetings and Saturday meetings. So Reverend Reverend Cruz, that was an issue that you wanted to discuss. The floor is open for that discussion right now.
Yeah, it was presented in one of the previous meetings that it might be a good idea to have committee meetings at local schools, so parents who didn't have transportation could participate. And this is going to encourage parent involvement at a deeper penetration at a local level.
Okay, so what's the floor is open for discussion. What we're talking about is we have, like today, we started early. We started at 5 o'clock to have a committee meeting where people can come and have discussion at our business meeting. We generally don't have enough time to get into a deep discussion on the issue. So we want to make time for parents to get into deeper discussions on issues so we can take more effective and clearer positions. We do that on the third Saturday of every month at 1000 Main Street. The discussion that we had at that meeting was the possibility of maybe getting more parents involved by taking one meeting to each district, and then letting schools in that district. It would be maybe easier for parents to get to a school in their district than to get to here or get to the Epic Center at 1000 Main. So the discussion is to see what you as DPCC reps from the school district think. Do you think it would be more effective to keep the meetings on Saturday at a central location, or do you think it would be a good idea to move the meeting to one district every month?
I think one district every month.
You think moving it to a community meeting? So if we decided to do the next meeting in your district, would you take responsibility so we can do it as in your school, for example, talking to your principal, and so we can do it with you? Okay. So we got a motion on the floor. You want to make that in the form of a motion, or you just want to discuss it? All right. There's a motion on the floor to move the committee meetings from Saturdays to one district, to move it to a different district every month, and then we'll put every month maybe next month if we pass it, we'll put the list of schools in each district on a piece of paper, and then see which school want to host it. All right. So there's a motion on the floor to move the committee meetings from Saturday to district meetings. There's a second to the motion. There's a second to the motion. East High School, the floor is open for discussion. Reverend Cruz, here and here.
In terms of specific committees, how does that relate to this committee discussion now? Like health committee and different specific?
Yeah, those committees can do one or two things. Either those committees meet at the committee meeting that we have. That's the reason why we have it. So if you don't have your own meeting with your own members, you can have it at a general one there with us, or you can set up one for yourself. So the health committee and all other committees can meet there. All right? Here and here.
What about having, because on the west side, and when I was making phone calls, there's a concern for foreign, we have a lot of foreign students, and their parents don't speak English well. So having an interpreter, especially on the west side.
We actually have an ELL committee. We actually have a committee, and what we'll do is we'll let our committee give us the recommendations on how to best approach that. Maybe let them choose a location and bring all the ELL parents to one place. Or maybe join their committee meeting. Maybe we'll do our overall meeting with our committee meeting with their committee meeting one month. All right? All right, right here.
I think we should be careful in the sense of using district school, because there is no more district school, so instead, because we don't have district school. I mean, I'm in Norfolk, but my child's going on the other side. So I don't think we should be using the district, because people are gonna get that confused when they get that in your neighborhood.
Yes. That's a very important point. This is something that all parents should try to understand the point that she just made. Right now, many years ago, your child used to go to school in the district in which they lived. That's the reason why you had a district representative. Now, your child goes to school all across the district. So even though you vote for your district representative may not be the representative for where your child goes to school at. So who do you deal with on the issue? The person who represents the school your child goes to, or the person you vote for? Who is your district representative? The person you vote for is your district representative? So you go talk to the person you vote for about a school that's not in their district? No, that's not necessarily the case. I live in East District. My child goes to school in West District. And my other child goes to school, the other children go to school in Central District. So who is my representative? Right. Well, at large represent everybody, but it's a clear point that we've honestly got to represent. But for the purposes of this discussion right now, the issue is moving it around to different places to get parents involved. So we do have district designation for that. But you make a valid point that maybe the school board needs to address about how the district is, represented. All right. So, any other discussion about moving the meetings around?
You know what she's basically saying though is people are still going to have the same problem. If they can't get downtown to go to Main Street, like good example, I live in Lovejoy area, and my son goes to school in Riverside. So if I didn't have a vehicle, I'd still be in the same position. I wouldn't be able to get there readily.
Yeah, I understood that. The way I was thinking about it is that either way, it would eventually get to whatever district you lived in. So if we moved it from district to district, eventually it would get to the district you live in. So to get to everybody. So you may not be coming to discuss the school where your child goes to school at, but you'll be able to have a district-wide discussion.
So would they be held every day?
They'll be held. We probably will continue to hold them on Saturdays. We have right now on Saturday, the third Saturday of every month from 10 to 12. So we probably do them at the same time unless a specific district that was hosting it wanted to do something different. All right, any other discussion?
Yeah, I don't think I get to vote on the issue, but as a committee chair, I think the logistical challenges outweigh the advantages.
All right, so
That's just my...
that's right. So logistically, he's saying that if you have a central location, it's easier than having to know where it's at every month and move place to place. All right, so that's a valid point. All right.